Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Jane and this is MJ Money Matters. Here in this space I show you how I use the zero-based budgeting method to control and maintain a simplified money life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and stick around for more. So today I'm working on cash planning, and this week I am expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of $962. Again, I'm basing this on my credit card tips that I made for the previous week, plus a couple of different side hustles, well, just one side hustle. And it should be somewhere around there. It just depends on my sales because then some of that is taken out of my hourly. My hourly is usually $0. Sometimes I might get $10, sometimes I might be -5. It just really depends. But it's a pretty good bankable number there. So these are the list of things that I am budgeting into the 962, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. So really important stuff. Home insurance, can't go without it. And I pay $190 a month. It could be a lot worse, but it's definitely more than I would like to pay. It is what it is. I've never had to file a claim. Well, that's not true. I owned a house previously. Oh, I've been painting, so I see little flecks of paint on my hands. I did have to file a claim when I owned a home in Fort Worth, Texas, one time for a storm. And the adjuster came out and he assessed the damage, and then there was a settlement. That was so one time in owning two houses I've had a claim, but you know, better safe than sorry. DTE is my electric provider. This month's bill is $85. That kind of surprised me a bit, considering that I have the window unit that I have. Maybe the next month's bill will be considerably more. But I was honestly scared to open up the bill, and when I did, I was like, okay, pleasantly surprised by that. Nice. Next is internet. I use T-Mobile, the wireless Wi-Fi and 5G. And it was before the annoying commercials came out. The flash dance commercials, oh my goodness, they're ridiculous, but it makes me laugh. And then people turn to me when they're on and be like, isn't that what you have? Yes, it is. It works great, by the way. Part of the mortgage. So I like to do it weekly. If I put aside some every week, then boom, it's there. When I have two jobs going, because right now it's in the summer and my second job just ended. So I would put double that aside, and then I would be a month ahead every month. That was like great in theory, but you know, without a second job, we just do what we can. So on this one job, I'm going to put aside $200. I did apply for a job today that I'm actually kind of excited about. So, you know, fingers crossed on that. We'll see what happens. The reason why I applied for this job is because it is part-time, and it comes with, after I guess 90 days, if you're eligible, insurance and 401k and stock options with Starbucks. Yeah. And my quest of not getting a real job, which has been my quest most of my life. I just like working in the service industry. I don't enjoy an office environment. I did work from home for 1.5 years, and I fucking hated that. I think in theory I liked it, but the practice of it, after about 6 months, I was like, this is awful. I can't get away from work because it's literally at home. And yeah, so I'm just like, really working towards building my Turo fleet. That's my sole focus, on getting things paid and then building that business. So I like don't want to get something that's going to be overly complicated and I have to learn all this stuff, and I feel like most of the jobs I see, you're not paying appropriately for the amount of work that they require, and I'm just no thanks. Another tipped job, but it's like okay hourly, and it's in a very bougie part of town. So I don't know, we'll see if they want to call me in. And I'm very interested in like the 6 a.m. shift, like 3 or 4 days a week. So yeah, Lawn Love. I have really enjoyed the Lawn Love app. I'm gonna do $75 there. I feel like they just did my lawn, but his belt broke, and so it's like we got off schedule. Whatever, I don't care. It's fine. Like, just please, I don't want to get a blight ticket. That's a thing here in Detroit. I'm sure a lot of places do that, you know, with code compliance in big metro cities. If your grass gets a little bit out of hand, you will get fined. So I will avoid that at all costs. My car wash, Jax. I paid $25 for unlimited car washes. I could do up to 2 a day, which during snow season is absolutely necessary. The one that's right down the street from my house is actually under construction. They're redoing it to make it more fabulous. So I'm having to go further out to get my car washed at the moment, which is kind of a bummer, but I know it's coming and it's going to be really good. So that's awesome. Especially, you know, wanting to build a car fleet, and all of my cars will be on Jax, right? You pay per car. So that way people are renting my car and it gets dirty, they can go through as well. And I'll leave instructions for them. I'm very excited. I've worked very hard. I want to say it's been 2 years, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 2.5 years that I've been working towards this goal of building my car fleet. And I'm finally at the point where I'm like, okay, now the money that I will get, it's extra, goes towards that. Because, you know, I lost everything during the pandemic, everything. I was literally houseless after that whole debacle. I was carless. I mean, I had to completely rebuild. So it was something that I wanted to do, but you have to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, shelter, food is here, and then it's like a little bit of security here, and then you can do things with your money. So I'm finally there. And I attribute a lot of it to being incredibly intentional with my dollars like this. When people are like, you literally were living on a couch. How do you have a home now? And it's because I am intentional with every dollar. That's how. And I really, really hyper focused on my goal of getting to where I want to go. So I feel like I did a lot of this very intentional planning in college, and that's how I got through college, and that's how I moved to Los Angeles, and that's how I met my goals in acting. It's just very meticulously honing in on what you're trying to do and take all these little baby steps to make it happen. So part of getting into the Jax car wash system was like, I wanted to learn how it works. I wanted to see, I tried different locations, you know, did I like them? Did I want to try someone else? And I think for $25 a month, when you literally can get, except for the month of February, it's like $1 a day or 50 cents a day if you wanted to go twice. Which again, like I said, I do in the winter months. So it's a hell of a deal if you use it wisely. Now, I'm not a proponent of having subscriptions that you do not use, you know, and sometimes like with Hulu, it's just turned off right now. And so when there's a show I want to watch, I'll turn it on for a month or two. And when I'm done binging, I turn it off again. So I don't need to perpetually pay for things, just to perpetually pay for them, to have them there if I need it. I only pay for subscriptions that justify themselves, that really pay for themselves in convenience or in necessity. And I just live by that. Weebly, that is my site host for my website. So I put $15 a month towards that. Not bad. I can live with that. Apple Care for my phone. I got a brand new phone, and that's the only reason I'm able to do these videos finally. I was unable to make videos for over a year because my phone no longer had any memory, and everything was broken on it. The glass was broken on it. The pictures were terrible, and like everything just kind of, it was like a flat, it went down. But again, with the hierarchy of needs, when you have things like food and shelter, the phone just it's not a priority. And I was gifted my phone, so I'm very grateful for that. But I did work. It was an exchange for work that I did. So it wasn't like I just was given to it because, you know, it was like, oh, you did this thing. Here's my thank you. And yay, finally. I've never had the latest phone ever. This is my first time. I'm just so grateful and excited. Okay, so Apple Care, and I'm going to pay them $9. Sirius XM. So my car that I have has Sirius XM in it, and I justify that. It's $31. I don't want to say it's only $31 because $31 does add up, right? So let's see what it is. 31 times 12 is $372 for the year. However, music is incredibly important in my life. I have my set channels that my ride or dies. I'm in my car a lot. And it's something that gives me an extreme sense of peace in the car while I'm driving. So it is a luxury. And I have turned it off before whenever things were super tight. But it's just something. Some people are really into getting their coffees. Some people are really into tanning or getting their nails done or whatever. For me, it's music in my car. Super important. Mint Mobile. So I pay Mint Mobile 3-4 times a year. I pay it quarterly. And so I'm putting aside $45 for that. What I would like to do whenever I get the second job going is set aside money to where I'm getting ahead and I'm paying it once a year. It's the best savings to do it that way. And then it's just like set it and forget it, you know. But I would always have my envelope where I'm putting the money aside. It just wouldn't be $45. It would probably be more like $35 or $32. I'd have to do the math on that and find out. But it's a little bit less, and it's less to think about. It's less to have to do. And I think I did that with my mailbox, my Dallas mailbox, and I've really liked it. You know, I still have my envelope and I still put the money aside, but it's just, man, it has made life a lot easier. My tip out bank, I'm not giving it much because basically I'm giving it most of my cash whenever I get cash, and I'm trying to keep it flush in that way, but it always needs a little bit of help. So I'm going to give it $32. And for those of you who are new, may not know, I have to pay my tip out bank. I have to maintain a tip out bank with me because I don't get paid cash as a waiter every day. The way that they do it is I get a check for the credit card and supposedly my hourly. Of course, everything goes to taxes, and I may get $8 or $10 of that. But I have to pay my server assistants and the bartender every night that I work. So I have to have cash to pay them, but I may not be getting cash. But if I do get cash, yeah, that was a gunshot, whatever. If I do get cash, I get to keep it, but I'm putting it back into my bank so that I have the money to pay them again. Because what I was doing when they first changed it to this system, which was not that long ago, was I was cash stuffing the cash that I was making, and then would have to rob my own cash stuffings to like, oh, I don't have enough tonight. And the tip out, it varies because it's based on your sales. And so it's like a percentage of food sales. It's a percentage of bar sales. So it can range from like, ooh, $5 to, I think $150. It just depends. And so you have to have that money there and ready at all times, just in case. So it's not the greatest system in the world, but it's the system they use, and it's not going to change, even though I've kind of like spoken up and other people have. It is what it is, and that's fine. But I love where I work. I love the people I work with, and no job is perfect. So whatever. Gas, vroom vroom. I'm going to put it as $60. I typically spend about $60 a week. It depends. Yes, I have a V8, and you know, it's not right around the corner where I work, but then I go to the gym, I go to the Target, I visit friends, you know. So I try not to drive too much. I definitely drove a lot more previously. I want to say in my previous life, like pre-pandemic, I drove a lot, but I had a Prius. And I've had 3 Prii in my life. They're fantastic, and I would happily get another one. But right now I have my car. It's a dream car of mine. I always wanted. And And because I have my trailer, my travel trailer, I needed a car. It's not a car, it's an SUV. I needed a vehicle, if you will, that could pull the trailer. So, yeah, and I love it. I absolutely love my car. But I also realize it's not the most practical car for a lot of different reasons. I don't know, give and take. And then finally, net credit, the mistake that's still going. $140 to them. So if we add all that up, that should be $962. Let's see. Clear all that out. And down 190 plus 85 plus 55 plus 200 plus 75, 25, 15, 9, 31, 45, 32, 60, 140, $962. So, yay. Now I get paid on Friday. So, Friday is the 5th. I don't get paid till like 8 p.m. at night. So, I deposit that on Saturday, the 6th. And I can only get a max of $500. The rest of it will not be available until Tuesday. I don't even know what that day is. I would have to look at my phone, and I'm using my phone. So let's see. Tuesday is the 9th. So it makes it difficult to do my cash stuffings because that's $462 that I can't even access until Tuesday. So yeah, so it'll be on Wednesday that I can do my cash stuffing. And that is what it is. When I was waiting tables and I made cash every day, and basically they would pay us out of the till our credit card money. And then of course they would keep that credit card money when it would come in, right? So they would prepay us and then they would hand us a chunk of money. And for simplicity's sake, let's say that they handed me $300. And then they'd be like, great, so on the percentage of your sales, you owe 40. So then I would take that $300 and turn around and give them 2 20s and then walk away with the 260 in cash that night. And that was the most simplistic way for me to do cash stuffing. It was when I first did when I got here with the first 2 restaurants I worked at, and it made things super simple, incredibly simple, to just move forward. So this, doing my tip out bank and then getting a check, literally having to put a check into the bank, not a direct deposit, having to wait until Tuesday for the rest of the money. It's a push-pull that is more complicated, but I am able to make it work because of this system. And to also make sure that everything is paid by its due date, because I always try to pay things at least 1 week early. And this is partly why, because of the way that I'm paid. Now we'll see what happens with the Starbucks job. My understanding is that it works in a tip pool. And so the tips that are given, which obviously are not anywhere close to the tips that I make in fine dining, and as they should not be, right? Because I'm sorry, but making the coffee in a super fast situation is not the same as fine dining. But you know, people do throw in change and $1 to whatever. They take it by the amount of people that worked on that day for the entire day, and they divide it by the hours worked. So it's a very fair tip pool, and then they add it to the check. So again, it's another situation where you're not walking with these tips. So yeah, you may not make the best hourly rate, but I mean, you're making a lot more than a waiter. You know, I make $383, $387, something like that, which is better than in Texas where I was making $213. So it is padded onto the check. And the main reason that I would want to work there, just straight up, is for the health insurance, the 401k, and the stock options. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you guys know. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me.